my special guest today is Miss Laverne Hall. She's the director over there for the Office of Contract Compliance. And so we want to take advantage of this opportunity to have her on the show. And I think it's wonderful that she's here sharing so much great information. Now also, I want to talk to you a little bit about the fact that we have juvenile detention centers within the county. The maintenance on those, is there opportunities for minority businesses to get involved in some of the maintenance contracts or some of the upkeep of some of these new facilities?
Sure. There are plenty of opportunities. The Juvenile Detention Center would be one. One of the things that we have noticed with that Juvenile Detention Center is very often that those are smaller contracts. And so those are really prime opportunities for a lot of our smaller minority and women-owned firms to come in because the contracts are usually small enough for them to come in and be able to perform on them themselves totally without even having to be a subcontractor in that event.
With those kind of contractors, those kind of contracts, what's the invoicing turnover? Is it like a net 60, a net 90? People have to wait for their money? Is it they're working on any process to help get the contractors their money faster?
I am so glad you brought that up because that was another issue that was basically raised when we first came on board, when we were surveying a lot of our small businesses, and we were asking them what were some of the barriers when we were trying to determine, why they were not bidding to us. And I think the overwhelming response to that we got was that they just felt that it took so long for Cook County to pay that it was just prohibitive for them to even do business with the county because of the lag time that it took for us to turn invoices around.
I've heard
so again, President Pretwinkle took a look at that. We took a look at our processes to determine why it was taking so long to turn these invoices around. And we found that one of the things that was really slowing up the payment process was the fact that we were required to have the board approve payments, before they could actually be paid. And so that the board meets, once or twice a month. There's a process in which you have to be on the agenda. There's so much lead time that you have to even be on the agenda for approval. So we were finding that very often invoices were ready to be approved, but they had missed the date to go to the board to get approved, which, made it another 30 days before we could get that approval. So the president has basically, and the purchasing department has basically asked the commissioners to bypass that step. So instead of getting approval, now what the purchasing department is doing is just giving them a list of invoices that have been paid. But we have found that by eliminating that process, that we have cut back or cut down on the time that it takes to process an invoice. And we are starting to get those invoices paid in a much more timely fashion.
That is great news. You know, that red tape with going to the board and getting on the agenda can be a nightmare for a person that, is just a small business trying to get, an invoice paid. So I'm so glad that you guys are taking an interest in the minority and women-owned businesses, just to give us an opportunity to be more inclusive and be more involved in the process. Ms. Laverne Hall is here on the McGraw Report. Give her a call, 312-738-1060. We're here talking about the Cook County and how you can do business with the county. I know you want to, change some light bulbs for the county. You probably want to do some supply work for the county. Give her a call, 312-738-1060. Now, does the county take the same certifications at the city, or is it a universal certification? What exactly is the requirement to be certified with them?
Well, Let's first talk about the county and the city certification. And we are currently in the process of negotiating what we're going to call a reciprocal certification. And basically, we were again told that a lot of the small businesses just felt that it was quite burdensome to have to be certified with the city of Chicago to do business with them, be certified with the county to do business with them. So both the mayor and the president came together and asked all of our departments departments to find ways in which we could collaborate. And one of the ways that our department is collaborating with the city is to come together and come up with a reciprocal certification or reciprocity amongst our certification process, which basically means that we will recognize the city certification and vice versa. So we anticipate that really being in effect before the end of the year. And so you will only have to be certified with one entity or the other, but will be recognized by both.
Great stuff. Great stuff. We got another caller on the line? Yes. Caller, go ahead.
Good evening, Ms. Hall.
Good evening.
Want to know, is there any programs for veterans?
Yes, we do have a veterans program.
Good question.
Thank you. It's a program that we have recently implemented. I believe it was passed about 2 years ago. And we are aggressively seeking veterans throughout the state. We are putting them in our database, and we're basically starting to report the level of veteran participations that we're having on our contracts.
Well, that is wonderful news. So you've opened it up for veterans, you've opened it up for minorities and women, and you're trying to get them paid faster. You're trying to reach that goal of 35%. That's what I call a yeoman's job.
Thank you.
That you're doing over there. We want to thank you so much, Ms. Hall, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And we want to encourage you all the best success over there at the county. And feel free to come back to the show again.
I'd love to come back.
We really want to keep up with what you're doing.
I will do that.
And we want to thank you, Chicago, for checking us out today on the McGraw Report. It's been really a wonderful half hour with you. Thank you, all the callers that called in, left your phone numbers for Ms. Hall and some of the other information that you left. Believe me, we're going to get back to you. And we want to thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Harry McGraw. This is Miss Laverne Hall. And we'll see you next time on the McGraw Report. You have a safe and wonderful evening, and take care.